Hey, how's it going? Vladimir Donis here. So, hey, I wanted to jump online and do a quick training to talk about how to make money in network marketing. So, essentially, I'm going to be talking about two things. I'm going to be talking about the fact that your product is not enough, and I'm also going to be talking about solve the gap problem. So, essentially, before I go into this training, I'd like to pretty much talk about precisely where I am speaking from. I believe that every business, every network marketer needs to have a marketing plan. The only way you can have a marketing plan is if you have a marketing roadmap. So, for me, the roadmap, the section of this specific roadmap that I'm going to be talking from today is I'm going to be talking from the roadmap section. So essentially, when I started thinking about this specific training, when I started to think about how to make money in network marketing, I had to kind of just go way back per se. I had to go back to my first sales job. So my first sales job, essentially, I didn't do too well in my first sales job. I remember this was like my fourth month in. I was not doing too well. I was pretty much out the door, and someone decided that, you know what, maybe this kid has talent in some other area. What they decided to do is they decided to kind of just transfer me to the finance department and transfer me to the finance department and say, hey, let's give this kid another shot. Transfer him to the finance department. At that time, I had it in me to say, you know what, I am going to do my very best in the finance department. I didn't do too well in the sales department. I'm going to do my very best in the finance department. So within 6 months of me working in the finance department, there's a lot of people working in the finance department, I ended up getting promoted to supervisor. Got promoted to a supervisor, and as a supervisor, I noticed something about this organization. They had a very good training process. So they had a training department, they had a training process that was very up to par, to be honest with you. That's one of the things that I noticed. Anyhow, I ended up working for that specific organization for about 2.5 years. And then later down the line, later during my career, I ended up working for another organization in the same capacity. I was still a finance manager. Now, as a finance manager for the new organization, it was a much smaller organization. A much smaller organization, that organization did not necessarily have a training department per se. At some point in time, as the finance manager, I had to hire someone. I had to hire new individuals to come work on the team. Because they didn't have a training department, I had to train these specific individuals on my own. To be honest with you, training was not in my background. It was not necessarily my forte per se, but I had to learn how to train a specific individual. I think it was about 2 days in, I started to kind of just panic and say, okay, how am I going to train this specific individual? I had to kind of just go back into memory lane per se and say, okay, how did my previous company, how did they do in terms of training? What are some of the things they had in place? What did they do? So I pretty much pieced together the best version that I knew of training to go ahead and train this new individual via this new company. Now, I trained this specific individual, based on what I knew, just so that person could go ahead and get the job done. Now, over time, because I knew that the training was on me, I had to do the training on my own. Over time, I worked on, pretty much fine-tuning the training process, right? And eventually what ended up happening is that I ended up creating what we call a framework for that specific department. And in my humble opinion, that framework was one of the best frameworks out there. So why did I end up having to create a framework? I ended up having to create and fine-tune a framework that would allow me to go ahead and deploy training as quickly and as fast as possible, because these individuals who's going to be working on my team, they needed to be up to par. They needed to have good training information. So essentially, when I started to kind of just think about how to make money in network marketing, I went back to that for a couple of reasons. If you look at network marketing, what happens is that when you join network marketing, you receive some type of training. So the way that you make money in network marketing is, number one, the training that you receive inside of your network marketing company, you need to go ahead and implement it as quickly and the best way you know how, right? So now that training sometimes will make you some money. I don't believe that it'll make you a lot of money, but it'll make you some money. And the reason why I say to make you some money, because if it involves you having to kind of just call all of your contacts and contact your friends and family, you're not going to make a lot of money if by that specific methodology. You will make a little bit of money, but you won't make a lot of money. But at any rate, you'll be able to make some money. So for me, in that first category, when I say your product is not enough, when people are telling you, hey, talk about the product, you'll make very little money, but you won't make a lot of money. The way that you make a lot more money in network marketing is you want to solve the gap problem. What do I mean by the gap problem? So essentially, when I hand someone a network marketing opportunity, I am giving them a product, I'm giving them a service to sell. A lot of times the training that they receive via network marketing isn't enough, right? The marketing training isn't enough. So for me, over time, what I've created my own system per se. So this is my own roadmap that I create when someone joins my team. I give them this specific roadmap because I know they're going to have problem with marketing. I can take this roadmap and I can take this roadmap and plug this roadmap into any company that I work with from a network marketing standpoint. This does not belong to a network marketing company. That belongs to me. So when someone joins my specific opportunity, when I talk about solving the gap, when I talk about solve the gap problem, that's what I mean when I say solve the gap problem. Because what happens is that if you solve the gap problem, this is how I'm solving my gap problem for people that join my team, and then they can go ahead and pass that information along. If you solve the gap problem, you're going to be able to kind of just stand, you're going to be able to kind of just stand apart from all the other individuals that are inside of your actual company. Because think about it, when you join a network marketing company, everyone receives almost the same information and same training, and sometimes that training doesn't allow them to scale it. That training doesn't have up-to-date marketing stuff. So for you, what you want to do in order to kind of just make above and beyond, very little money, is you want to go ahead and solve the gap problem. That is essentially, the thing that you want to go ahead and do. I truly believe if you do that, you're going to kind of just, stand apart. So essentially, you could start off with just the training that you have inside of the training module that you have once you first join the network marketing opportunity. But for me, I knew that's not enough. I knew that wasn't enough. That's why I created my own system. So essentially, you have to give your people, the individuals that you're looking to that are looking to join your downline, you have to give those specific individuals a little bit more, right? So essentially, those are the two things that you want to do. One of the things that I'm doing right now is that my partner and I are hosting a free web class. This web class is specific to network marketing and it's specific to MLM. We have two goals. Goal number one is going to show you how to generate a lead online via marketing funnels and automation. And then goal number two, we're going to show you how to take that lead and turn that lead into a customer. The other thing that I'm working on is that if you're not in network marketing, you're not in MLM, but you're a business owner, you want to know, you want to learn some marketing, essentially, I can help you two ways. Way number one is I can go ahead and be your marketing coach. And guess what? If I'm your marketing coach, guess what we're going to work on? We're going to work on a marketing plan, and guess what? I already have a marketing roadmap that we're going to plug in to make sure that everything is airtight. The other thing is that you can say, you know what? I don't want marketing. I don't want, coaching. Can you do the marketing for me? Same thing. I'll go ahead and do the marketing for you. When I do the marketing for you, I have a 3-step process that I work on, and each 3-step process has what we call prerequisites. And we just make sure that, from a roadmap standpoint, that we have a roadmap in place so that way, everything could be airtight. Essentially, it's going to be a separate link, and via that link, what you can do, you can go ahead and send me a message, and the message is going to simply say, hey, I'm interested in marketing, and I'll go ahead and send you the details. So, hey, thanks for listening. That's my time. Talk to you soon. Cheers.